Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. I'm about to head downtown to go to an interview with WAOK. I think that's the station I'm going to interview with. And I was just thinking about this story I just saw. In case you're wondering about this shirt, this is my Good Times shirt. I actually bought it from the girl that played Thelma on Good Times. If you didn't watch the original stuff, and you should check out the reruns. You know, Good Times was like a classic show. I have to say that for like the younger guys and younger ladies that may not remember that interesting interesting era of television. But anyway, I actually met Thelma from Good Times, and it was pretty cool. Her name is Bernadette Stanis, and she's one of the sweetest people you ever meet. And so it's pretty cool to get the shirt signed by her. I think she's it's amazing how she looks for her age. She's actually quite gorgeous, no matter what age. But anyway, so I am. Headed down for this interview, and I saw this article that I thought was worth commenting on. It's at a California University. I think it's California University, Los Angeles, Cal State, Los Angeles, and basically what they've created is what Fox News has called segregated housing, which is basically dormitories for black people, where black students can choose to live if they want to. They don't have to live there. This is not like, oh, the Negroes must be over there. It's one of those things where black people are given a space where they can congregate and have strength in numbers. And there's some people, a couple of people. There's some guy named Niger Innis from the Congress of Racial Equality, which I don't know much about the group. I think that they're kind of one of these civil rights organizations that sort of, unfortunately, kind of caught up in a certain way to view blackness. And he says that they may end up inadvertently sort of pushing the black students sort of out of the loop of the campus, making them sort of the extras or the others on campus, and creating or sort of turning the clock back. And I see where he's coming from a little bit on that. I don't agree entirely. I think that what's interesting is that for too long we have defined the chase for equality to be the same as the chase for integration. And I think anybody who understands how racial equality works, how racism works, I think they're learning how to dissect the two. That equality is not the same as direct integration. In fact, integration sometimes can lead to inequality. Let me give you an example. Let's say you got a woman who's who's got her own apartment, her own life, and she's doing quite well, and she meets a man who's doing well also, and he says, well, in order for you to be complete, you should have a husband. So you should come marry me, come live with me. And let's say that she comes and she says, okay, yeah, you know what? For me to truly be where I need to be as a woman, I need to go live with a man. I need to have a husband. I need somebody that wants me. And let's say that the husband says, I want you to get rid of all your stuff. I want you to sell your house, quit your job, and depend on me. I'm now the provider. I'm also the status symbol. Now you can tell your friends you're doing better because you're next to me, because I want you. Somebody wants you. And so let's say that he's abusive. He brings her in and he abuses her. He says, well, I pay all the bills up in here, so you better do what I say. At the end of the day, the question you have to ask yourself is she better off? Has she achieved equality to the man in terms of power by integrating with the man? Or would she have maintained more power by remaining somewhat segregated, or at the very least having her own shit? Excuse my French. Having her own space and her own ability to provide for herself, such that if the man wasn't happy about something, if the man was, disappointed or upset with her in some way, he couldn't actually inflict as much punishment upon her as he would if she were completely dependent upon him. So the interesting thing too is if you use that marriage analogy and example, the woman could still interact with the man. She can still be with the man. She can still date him. She can still hang out with him. But if he's an abusive man, she probably should be very cautious about integrating with him. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know too many other groups of people that have been more abusive than white Americans toward black people. Not to say that all white people are horrible and evil. I got to throw that caveat in before people say, oh, you hate white people. That's another type of white supremacy, another type of racism that exists, where anything you say that's pro-black is defined as, is really, really anti-white, or that it's equally racist to what white people say, which we know is nonsense, is stupid. Anyway, when you integrate with white folks and you dismantle your own sovereignty in order to engage in this integrated process, you effectively are giving away all your power and giving that over to an oppressive force, and because you somehow have confused integration with equality. Sometimes segregation can be a better pathway to equality than integration. It all depends on how you integrate, and it depends on who you're integrating with. So when I look at these students, and I can go back full circle to this example with this article, look, you got these students, they're not feeling good about integration, apparently, because they're asking for these segregated dorms. They're like the woman who's saying, you know what, I know you're telling me my life is supposed to be better because I got a husband now, but it ain't better. I don't like this dude. He ain't shit, right? Get me out of here. I might date him. I'll still hang out with him, but I'm not going to go live with him. I'm not going to depend on him. I'm not going to let him pay my bills. I'm not going to lean on him as my source of validation. And so I think that for black people, and this, again, circles back to the whole issue of the dorms, one of the things people must understand is that the true pathway to equality sometimes involves regrouping. It's sort of extracting yourself from the source of your pain and going to a place that can be a source of hope, a source of inspiration, a source of power, a source of strength. So I think that with these kids having their own separate dorm, I mean, personally, I'm a big fan of trying your best to just, go consider supporting an HBCU or something like that. I tortured myself by going to the University of Kentucky, but it wasn't a good experience altogether. I did very well when I was at Kentucky. I was, my GPA was better than almost all the white students. I was the number one finance student on campus, but I wasn't socially comfortable. I wasn't socially happy. I had a lot of unnecessary fights. I thought that at the time that this was what I just had to go through in order to achieve equality with the white man. This is what I thought I had to go through in order to be successful in this world. And what I beg for, what I look for, is I'm hoping that we can build a world where children don't feel like they have to go through torture in order to be successful. So, I did very well, but it wasn't a good experience. I don't feel any connection to the campus. When I got my PhD, I pretty much knew that black people like me would never be hired by that campus. I knew I wouldn't even consider being a faculty member there, and I'm glad they never hired me because I really don't think I would have been a fit because they're not ready, they're not mature enough. Society, American society, white American society is not really mature enough to know what it means to truly respect black people. I don't think that they understand it. They are at this point, unfortunately, they're too handicapped by their ancestors, by their predecessors, to even begin to know what it means to really treat black people fairly. So as a result, sometimes we got to get away from their asses. I tell black people, your source of strength is not leaving your community and leaving your people. Your source of strength is collapsing back with your people and developing your core so that you have a place to go where you can be safe and you can be comfortable. I didn't start to feel safe until every day I started working with black people. Now I feel very comfortable. The people that got my back or look just like me. I can say things like what I'm saying to you on this video is not going to get misconstrued. I guarantee you this much, though. If this video was on CNN or Fox News, you'd have white people saying all kinds of shit about me, all kinds of horrible things, right? But black people, most black people, the majority of black people watching this video understand what I'm saying. So you want to be in a place where people understand you, where people get you. And then, hey, you know what? You can still integrate. Just you're integrating king to king as opposed to king to servant. I hope you understand the difference. All right. Well, don't forget, I'm in Atlanta right now. I'm actually staying around the corner from Morehouse College for a couple of days because we're getting ready for the All Black National Convention at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. It's going to take place the weekend of September 16th. You can actually buy tickets at allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. We're going to discuss all these issues. We're going to show 3 films, have panels on black men, black women, police brutality, the wealth gap, how to start a business, the educational system, all of that. And we're bringing together all kinds of people from hip hop artists like David Banner and Killer Mike to scholars like Dr. Roosevelt Mitchell III, Dr. Tyrus Seldon, Dr. Monica Ogando Hasley. We're bringing together people that great women: Zaza Ali, Norma Langan, Shally Moses, Shaquita Graham, Rashida Range, just all different kinds of people that can add something to the dialogue in terms of us getting to where we want to get to as a community. I went out of my way to make sure that the convention was held the same week as the Congressional Black Caucus convention, because I don't want any of these weak ass congressmen trying to get their little seat on the platform so they can come and defend the nonsense that they've been perpetuating against our people. I didn't want the paid off Negroes to be there. I wanted this to be for black people who believe in the truth. From all walks of life. We even have a Trump supporter who's coming. I told her she could come because I want to hear all points of view. If you can defend your point of view, I'm going to listen to you. It's going to be amazing. So I hope that you guys will check it out. If you can't come out, or if you want to come out and you want to buy a ticket, you can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. If you would like to support or be connected, and I hope you'll do that, because we didn't allow any corporate sponsorship. We pay for this with my own money, not our own money, my own money. And we're pulling this dang thing off, but I could really use your help. If you want, you can at least buy a live stream or take a class in the Black Business School or something, because I really believe that as a source of just standard dignity and self-respect and pride, black people got to learn how to pay for our own stuff. We got to learn how to take care of ourselves. Stop thinking that you need to go get corporate money in order to do stuff for your community. Stop thinking that you need the government to pay for you in order to have something done. It doesn't mean the government money is not our money. We have a right to that tax money, absolutely. But at the same time, I don't want to be dependent on that. I don't want to be dependent upon benevolent white people like George Soros. You'll never hear the Dr. Boyce Watkins, Black Lives Matter Part 2 movement funded by George Soros. You're not going to see that, because I can't look at George Soros man to man and know that he's paying for my freedom. If another pimp is paying for your freedom, then you just changing from pimp to pimp. You're not really gonna be free. They're just trying to pull you over so they can pimp you instead of somebody else. So anyway, with that being said, there are a lot of hard truths I think that have to be discussed. I don't pretend to know all the answers. I'm not saying you have to agree with everything I say. In fact, I'm asking you not to agree with everything I say. I want you to process it all and agree with the pieces that make sense to you, and see if I can convince you of some things. And I hope you'll be a part of this movement. I think that what we're doing is historic. It's going to be legendary. Our great grandchildren are going to remember this as the beginning of something special. So I hope you join us for this historic event. If you want to join the live stream, you can join that at drboycelivestream.com. That's drboycelivestream.com. And again, if you want to get a ticket, you can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. And just as a little side note, if you're interested, also I'm going to be in Oakland this week. I think the URL. What's the URL? Oh gosh, I should have the URL, because the lady who's holding the event, she sent me a note and yelled at me and said, why aren't you promoting our event? You're talking about the convention and you haven't. And she was right. And I told her I had put it on my Facebook page, but I'm literally going to do this way. Okay, it's uetickets.com. uetickets.com. The letter U, the letter E, tickets.com. So you can buy tickets for Oakland at Laney College next week. I think the date here is September 10th. So there you go. So even before the All Black National Convention, I'll be at Laney College. I know that took a second for me to do. I hope you guys can forgive me for doing that, but I want to show respect to the sister who asked me to promote. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys, and tell me that Thelma from Good Times was not like the finest thing ever. You know she was. The gorgeous black woman. But then again, there's nothing like the black woman on Earth. They are genetically superior to every other species on the planet. So if you're a black woman out here, I love you. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.